What's up all you blather and bladskipes, dudes and dudettes, Toy Shiz here, and I got a really quick video. We're going to be talking all about the brand new Phat Mojo, right? That's a brand new company, and man, they're killing it. I got to say, they're making some interesting toys, and these new DuckTales figures, which we're going to be talking about, is no exception. They are the company that previously have made the Bendy and the Ink Machine figures that were really cool. There's not a whole lot of articulation with these figures that they produce, but they are like spot on accurate to whichever brand they are doing. And again, the DuckTales line that they're currently doing from Disney is no exception. These look to be, and it's not official just yet, but I'm gonna say they might just be Target exclusives from here on out. I don't know if other companies are going to be getting them, other retailers and stuff like that. But I hear certain things. I think that Target will be the main purveyor of these, the DuckTales figures, which is pretty cool. Target's always pretty good about distribution and things like that. I'd rather have them here than any other place. Walmart. If you didn't know, or if you haven't heard, these are based off the new rebooted series of DuckTales, which was previously from the 90s. And these take a heavier cue from the older Walt Disney Scrooge Mcduck comic books. The difference being that the original Scrooge Mcduck in the cartoon had a blue jacket. This one has like a red one and goes on more adventures and things like that. And the art style for the actual cartoon is a little bit more comic booky. You know, you have the dot matrix and things like that to make up the color scheme. Bright colors, really not flat, but just that really cool design quality. And I have to say, I was a big DuckTales fan, back in the 90s. But with this new series, I tend to gravitate more towards the art style over the story. The story is a little bit more childish, kiddish. There are some elements to for adults and things like that, of course. But just in terms as an overall product, this is like heavily geared towards kids. And while I can appreciate that, I appreciate it most of all for the art style. But nothing really compares, of course, to the old 90s DuckTales, especially that DuckTales movie, man. They were going after that lamp, and that was sweet. Anyways, if you wanted the older DuckTales figures, if you didn't know, Funko created the Disney Afternoon line, and they have a Scrooge Mcduck and also a Darkwing Duck figure, which I highly recommend. So, if you want to get those, definitely get those. But without further ado, let's get into the brand new Phat Mojo Disney's DuckTales line. So what Phat Mojo looks to have done is that there are going to be, in wave 1, there's 4 initial core single figures, and then there's going to be two packs of figures. There are 2 play sets essentially. One is a vehicle, and that is the Sun Chaser with Launchpad, and the other is the Scrooge Mcduck Money Bank Vault, which is pretty cool too. There is also some kind of like, I guess you could call them like blind bag figures. They're in like a money bag, and then there also looks to be 2.5-inch tall PVC figures as well. So the first figure up in the line of the initial 4 individual figures is actually Scrooge Mcduck, of course, and he looks spot on to the cartoon, like I had previously stated. The colors pop, the muted red jacket, just from everything from the top hat down to his spats, he looks fantastic. Comes with a cane, and it looks to be the silver golden monkey, kind of like the Indiana Jones thing that that kind of thing. But the thing also, of course, with me, I love the packaging. They're not going to be that big of a package, minimal kind of plastic, but utilizing most of the space, which I do appreciate. I don't know what the backing just looks like just yet, but I'm hoping there's a sweet bio along with all the other characters, kind of like they did with Bendy and the Ink Machine. Nice bold lettering, uses that dot matrix kind of logo lettering to complete the art style for the title of DuckTales on the card. And overall, I just think he looks fantastic. I like the little addition of the monocle type glasses that are sitting on his nose. I'm curious to see how those are going to look once you have them out of the package. Hopefully it's sturdy, nothing's going to break. And, it might be an individual piece. That's not a bad thing, but just as long as it's not very delicate or brittle. Next up out of the individual figures, we have, of course, Donald Duck. And I have to say, I think this might be, besides Launchpad, the second most figure on my list for this wave of figures. I love the old comic books where Donald was in his black sailor's outfit, and I really think that this is the core of what Donald Duck looks like. He kind of retains that old school, beauty of Disney cartoons and comics and all that good stuff. And again, Phat Mojo has nailed the likeness. He looks to come with a camera and then sort of like an iPad, iPhone kind of thing, which if I remember correctly in the first episode, I think he had both. So that's kind of cool. I like when cartoon-based toys come with accessories that is, straight out of the cartoon themselves. And to be honest, I don't know necessarily if these are going to be something that kids want to play with, or are these specifically geared towards collectors with, like, say, the blind bag or the PVC being more towards kids, because these look fantastic. They look just so spot on. I'm loving these. I cannot wait to have these. And of course, next up is the old Double D himself. It's Launchpad Mcquack. Again, spot on. Comes with a wrench and binoculars. Man, he complete his pilot's jacket, everything. You could even use this dude as, a sidekick to your Darkwing Duck figure, which, as far as these look, these are looking to be 5-inch figures, so it should go quite well with what Funko has done with the Disney Afternoon, with certain exceptions. Baloo and the Chipmunks don't really fly, but the original Scrooge Mcduck and of course Darkwing look to fit in perfectly. And Launchpad, the doofus himself, he's awesome. He's one of the best characters in DuckTales in every iteration, including Darkwing. So very happy to have this figure. And last but not least, out of the Wave 1 individual figures, there is Flintheart Glomgold. And if I'm not mistaken, I, for whatever reason, only remember bits and pieces of this character from the original DuckTales cartoon. I don't know why that is. I just always very much remember Gizmo Duck, the core cast, Mrs. Beagley, all those characters. Glomgold, I know what the character looks like in my head, but for whatever reason, just he kind of dissipated in terms of all of Scrooge's villains from the thing. And even though I think he was like the main one, which is kind of funny. But this iteration is pretty awesome. I love the distorted, oversized, bulky fatness that he has. Kind of reminds me of the Into the Spider-Verse, the Kingpin image that I showed off yesterday on my Instagram. Man, I love when cartoons and certain things do that, and they're just so distorted, but they work. And I appreciate that. It's an excellent art style, and it's always fun to see, especially when they are able to successfully recreate it into plastic form. This Glomgold figure comes with like a giant diamond and a cane, like a walking stick. So he's going to work perfectly, as your doppelganger to Scrooge McDuck. Now, next up, we're getting into the two-packs that are part of the Wave 1. Now, these are two figures, and they run about $12.99, as opposed to the single figures, which are running around $8.99, and those, again, are at Target. The first two-pack is Huey and Dewey, and they come, with the accessories. I think the Junior Woodchuck book is in there, like a scythe, and then some kind of laser blaster thing, which is, again, if I'm not mistaken, I have only seen a handful of the new episodes, but I do know the Junior Woodchuck book and the scythe are in the show, so that's really cool. And they're, of course, they're looking spot on. They look great. They look like they can hold their weapons, their accessories. They look absolutely fantastic. I like that they did this where they put the two of the smaller figures together, and it's, instead of $8.99 for a tiny one. Thank you for doing that. I really, really hate when, let's say Star Wars The Black Series does that. They give us a Jawa and it's $20, or they give us Yoda and it's $20. So thank you for being respectful towards collectors and for really, giving us our money's worth. That's always much, much appreciated. The second two-pack is, of course, Louie and Webby. And I think that goes together because if I'm not mistaken, I think they have kind of like that, dynamic closeness in the show. And that's always cool when you kind of package the two characters that have the best relationships, i.e. like villains, Batman and Joker, stuff like that. And again, she comes with like her night vision goggles and grappling hook, which is really cool. And Dewey comes with a soda can and an iPhone. So that's really cool. I like the different attitudes of the three, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, in the show. I think that it kind of breaks them up a little bit better. And each one has their own little quirks and funniness, especially Louie. So, again, it's going to be great to have these characters. Getting into the vehicles / playsets, and I gotta say, the fact that they finally made the DuckTales plane, I am so stoked. It's such an iconic plane in terms of cartoons and cartoon vehicles. You immediately know that that's, you know, Launchpad Mcquack's vehicle. I am going to be completely honest with you. I don't remember it being called the Sun Chaser. That might be something new for the cartoon. Don't tear me up in the comments. I just don't remember it being called that. It was just always the plane to me. So I like that, you know, the name. I like that it also comes with an exclusive, you know, Launchpad Mcquack figure. I don't know if necessarily it's a different figure or if he just doesn't come with his weapons or if it's different from the actual, you know, single release. So it remains to be seen of what exactly is in the box when I do find this on store shelves. But nonetheless, I think it's a great vehicle. Love when they do vehicles. It's a little bit undersized, and it's kind of funny on the Target website where you can buy it. It says not to actual scale. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking with that. Like, you mean like plane wise or cartoon wise? But nonetheless, it's pretty funny. I do know that you can fit Launchpad in there, but from the pictures and such, it only looks like you can fit one figure. Even though the back of the plane has a hatch, I don't really know how, you know, that would work. But let's just say it's a nice vehicle. It's cool to display, and we'll just leave it at that. And next up is the Scrooge Mcduck Money Vault Bin. And I gotta say, the money bin, it's severely undersized. Okay, let's just get that out the door right now. But from the box and what it shows you, it actually looks like a very nice display for your figures. So if you can't get, you know, an actual money bin vault, at least it gives you a little bit of a display range to put your figures in, and I think that's really cool. It's kind of like a DVD, like a really cool DVD box set where you can store all your discs, kind of like that Futurama head that was Bender's head. You fit every disc in there. That was awesome. But with this, it's kind of doing the same thing. You want to put them all, it's like almost like a carry case from back in the day, you know, Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, something like that. But I appreciate the fact that even though it's undersized, you can, I'm just saying according to the photos. Now I don't know this, I gotta make sure, but it looks like you can put mostly every figure into there, and that is something to be appreciated. You don't want to be losing these things. Next up, we need a little holder for all the weapons and accessories. Because how many times have we actually lost those? God dang. And really quick, just to wrap things up, we are getting a blind bag collection of figures. They are a Money Stacks minifigures line, also, you know, from Phat Mojo, obviously. And there looks to be around 9 different figures. Webby, Dewey, Huey, Louie, Scrooge, Darkwing Duck, which I might be after that one. I know these blind bag things, I know how they go, but I'd like to get my hands on that for sure. Also Donald Duck, Launchpad, and Magica something. It's the villain, but she's like the niece of Magica the Duck. Correct me on that, but yeah, you know who I'm talking about, the evil duck from the original DuckTales. That's who I definitely remember as one of the villains, not Glom Gold. And they're coming out with a 2.5-inch, kind of like collector set of PVC figures that includes Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby. So those will also be on store shelves if you want something a little bit more compact size, a little bit more cutesy for your desk or for your DTOF, whatever you prefer. Now, like I said, these are all up for sale on Target.com right now or their Cartwheel app. The only exception being is that they're not listed properly. You can't buy the ones you want individually. So what I had to do, they're listed in groupings. So I bought 4 of the single figures and I bought 2 of the 2-packs and also the plane. I didn't get the money bin just yet. I'm going to wait to find that in the store. I don't see that flying off the shelves too fast, unfortunately. But I will say I don't know what's going to exactly show up. Maybe, you know, hopefully when they're packing it, they think, okay, he wants all 4 or he wants all 2-packs. The plane should be a no-brainer. Those should be here around Friday, Saturday. So I'll keep you guys all posted on what exactly shows up. And just before I go, I want to give a special shout out to at MCU Collector 24 on Instagram and also at Rick Eubanks 1212 on Instagram. Make sure to follow them both. They have, you know, excellent coverage of toys as well, and they're a lot of fun, especially for Marvel Legends, and Rick likes to go into pretty much everything, and he has a YouTube channel as well, so make sure to check him out. MCU Collector found them at his Target this morning, which led to me being like, oh wow, these are finally hitting. I've been waiting to see these, waiting to grab these, and Rick and I were discussing them being on Target, and he's the one that kind of pointed out that you can't really get the ones you want specifically. You kind of have to do a Russian roulette kind of thing with the figures as to what exactly is going to show up. But thank you again for watching this video. If you made it this far, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell whenever I do more videos just like this one. Make sure to follow me on Instagram or Twitter at ToyShiz. Feel free to email me anytime, toyshiz@gmail.com. Let's talk toys, anytime, anywhere. You got a question, let me know. I really appreciate it. Love talking to you guys about this kind of stuff. I'll talk to you all soon. If I don't post another video in the meantime, have a fantastic week and even better weekend. Drink some good coffee, eat some good food, but most importantly, find some terrific action figures. And when you do, like these ducktail ones, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you all soon. Adios.